The Hiram Johnson football team reached the postseason for the third consecutive season this fall. One of the biggest reasons for the Warriors' success is senior receiver Jhayson Fowler.
Fowler was one of the most dominant players in this section at his position this season. Our Nick Pecoraro has the story on what fueled Fowler heading into his senior year.
There have been several factors in the success of the Hiram Johnson football team this season. But one of the biggest common denominators is senior athlete Jhayson Fowler.
Can't talk about this year's team without Jhayson. I think he has 20-something touchdowns. We put him on the wide side of the field in the alley for a reason, because he's a competitor.
Jhayson grew up playing quarterback, but for the first time in his life, he's thriving in a new role as wide receiver. A move that has paid off big for the Warriors.
He makes simple plays like a hitch turn into a 70-yard touchdown. Anybody who's smart knows he's going to be playing on Saturdays here coming soon.
At the end of the regular season, Fowler was in the top 10 in multiple Sac-Hi section offensive and defensive categories.
You know how everybody has that mindset, oh yeah, we're going to do this and that, but we actually been making something big this year. Actually putting the school on the board, the news. Schools getting the stadium, so like schools now starting to get recognized.
But Jhayson's origin story goes well beyond simply making a position change on the football field.
If everybody knows Jhayson, they know Jhayson kept the football. He slept with the football. I don't know how many times I went through footballs, keep him in the car, here, anywhere. That's all he knows is football.
Jhayson's passion for football was born out of the loss of his father, who died when Jhayson was just 5 years old.
He didn't take it well. He didn't quite understand, but then when he seen that he wasn't coming around anymore, I think that's when it hit him, because especially on weekends when they would do stuff together, he would be out there waiting for him out the window, waiting for him to drive up. Didn't happen.
Jhayson's mother knew he needed an outlet to channel his emotional struggles.
Right around the corner was football, and that's when I decided, I said, yeah, I better get my son, because I didn't want him to be in this shell that he was in. I wanted him to, be better and do better. So I decided to put him in football, and I think that was the best decision I've ever done.
But it was a challenge for the newly single mother of two to provide childcare for Jhayson and his sister, until a former work colleague stepped in.
Peggy was a co-worker of mine, and she was getting ready to retire. I took Jhayson over there to go see him, and she fell in love with him instantly and said, well, I'm retired, so if you need a babysitter, I'm more than willing and able to take him. And it was over then. I went back to work when he was 6 weeks, and it was on and popping since then.
She wasn't blood, but I'm starting to get more comfortable with her and start loving her more because what she's doing and what she was doing for me. And as far as I get 6, 7, and 8, I'm realizing, oh, this is my grandma.
She was just a magical woman. Jhayson didn't have to want for nothing. She gave him the world. When Jhayson started talking, that was his grandma, and he always called her Grandma Peggy.
But tragedy struck again between Jhayson's junior and senior year, as Grandma Peggy died of COVID-related complications.
She had pneumonia already, and then COVID came, and Peggy was already up in age, and she just couldn't fight it no more, and she ended up passing from that. And it took a big hit on Jhayson.
Once I heard that, I was mad. I was just sitting in a chair quiet for a cool minute.
But Jhayson channeled his emotions through football, and he dedicated his senior year to his extended family member, triumphantly capping it off with a league championship. And now permanent ink on his forearm cements the bond with the woman he knew as Grandma Peggy.
It makes him feel closer to her, spirit-wise. So in each touchdown that he does through the game, he gives her that kiss up, and hopefully she's looking down at him.
She took me in as she didn't have to, and she loved me. She didn't have to. She didn't have to help my mom. She could have said, no, I don't want him here. But she took me in respectfully, fed me, let me sleep there on occasion, bad occasions. Something's going on, I could go talk to her. Her having her in my life is very blessing, and I'm thankful for that, for real.
Reporting from Sacramento, Nick Pecoraro, 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
The Johnson football season has come to an end, but we can plan on seeing Jhayson on the Warriors basketball team. He will surely carry Peggy's memory onto the hardwood this winter.
Absolutely.